This is Asinine Radio. This is the weekly music podcast where every week we get into a different band, different artist, and we break down one of their records. We get into the music, lyrics, how it was made, and everything in between. My name is Tyler, and way out there, hundreds of miles away, is Jeff. While you're listening, go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars. If you're watching on YouTube, smash that subscribe button. And this week we are starting Freezin', Josh Freeze season on the podcast. We got 3 weeks, baby, of Josh Freeze bands. So this week, what are we starting the Freezin' with?
Deep Cuts Only, baby. Moth, the band Moth. Everyone's heard of Moth, right?
Everyone's heard of this band. Yeah. So what's the album? Do you not remember? Because I always forget.
It's Provisions. That's all I remember. I gotta open my notes.
Fiction and Gear. Provisions, Fiction, and Gear. That's the name of the record from this band called Moth. Josh Freeze did play drums on this record, and so that's what we're doing this week. So we're gonna break it down, get into it. But before we do all that, we're gonna do our 6 degrees of Tom DeLonge. Normally we would do this during the album rankings, but that was very difficult to do, and we'll get into that more a little bit later.
Well, never mind.
6 degrees of Tom DeLonge. That's where we connect the band of the week to our boy Tom DeLonge. So what do you got this week, Jeff? Go. I got 2.
You said you did 2. So again, if either of one of them is through Guns N' Roses or the Replacements, then right now you should just not do it. So
one of them is through. Actually, one of them is through Guns N' Roses, yes.
Okay, so you have 1.
Okay, technically I have, but I'm still going to do the Guns N' Roses one.
Okay,
go why not?
Just do both of yours because it's probably dumb anyway.
Okay, let's go the Guns N' Roses route. So we got Tommy Stinson. We also have Josh Freeze. There you go. You're having a good time.
I was boring.
Tommy Stinson, who played bass on this record. Josh Freeze, who played drums on this record. Both in Guns N' Roses at this time, or at least Tommy Stinson was. And we go from that to Slash from Guns N' Roses. Slash was on a Transplant song, Saturday Night. Travis Barker's in the Transplants. Travis Barker was in Boxcar Racer with Tom DeLonge. There you go. There's one.
Anyway, yeah, that was the boring one. Do your not boring one.
Well, the other one is like beyond fucking easy. Adam Willard was in Moth, and Adam Willard was in Angels and Airwaves.
Gotcha. So I thought it was under my impression that when we did these 6 degrees of Tom DeLonge, we put a little effort into it. Now that I know, I'll stop doing that.
Okay, so what do you got then?
Oh yeah, so Moth, the singer of Moth is Brad Stenz.
Correct. Yes.
STNZ. There's not a lot written about Moth
E-N-Z.
nor Brad Stenz, so I actually did some digging, and Brad Stenz produced
Foxy Shazam.
Yep,
he did.
And Foxy Shazam's big major label debut was produced by your boy John Feldman. John Feldman.
To Blink.
Yes. Tom.
That's one. That's a good connection too.
Yeah.
That's a good connection too. I dig it. I think it was Brad he produced like their 2005 record or something like that. Foxy Shazam. One of their early records. But that band kind of sucks anyway, so whatever. Never really cared for them. So anyway, there we go. 6 degrees of Tom DeLonge. Let's get into Moth. This band, this pretty damn obscure band. Then there's not a lot written about this band, but Josh Freeze did play on this record. He's also played on like hundreds of records over the last 35, 40 years. But this is one of them. But he was actually kind of in this band too. He didn't just play on this record. He was doing a lot of stuff with the band, like a lot of pre-production stuff. But he never played any actual shows with the band. So it was more than just a studio session. But so that's kind of why we're doing it, because we're in Josh Freeze season. Freezing, some might say.
Freezing.
So let's get into our origin story with this band Moth. And then we'll get into first impressions of the record and then go from there, get into lyrics, music, how it was made, all that kind of crap. So what do you got? Origin story, go.
I have no origin story with this. I know I've heard this song, the Icy Sound, but it was something that I've heard early on and then never, ever listened to it again, never thought about it again, never cared about it again until Tyler was like, "Yeah, you remember Moth?" I was like, "Oh, here we go. What is this?" I was like, "What?" Like, I do know this song, but I still don't care enough about it. But it's still a good song. It's a good song. It's a banger.
It's a great song.
Yeah, Icy Sound's a banger. But I've literally no nostalgia. I have no connection. I have no origin story. I have no other reason to talk about this band for the rest of my life once we are done with this pod tonight.
Okay. That's okay. That's something. All right. So my origin story is Icy Sound. I remember this video played on MTV back when we were probably sophomores in high school, freshmen in high school. I was up late one night and this video came on and I was like, oh my God, this song is fucking incredible. So I stayed up like several nights after that to see if the video came on so I could record it on my VHS, on my tape. And it did. It came on. I recorded the video and I just became obsessed with the song. And then I wanted more of this band, but even like earlier days of the internet, you couldn't really find anything on this band. Like it was so fucking hard to find anything even now. And I went to Best Buy, I went to Warehouse Music, I went to Tower Records, I went to so many record stores. None of them had this record on CD. Could not find it anywhere. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll just download it illegally. It was some random torrent site. It wasn't even like Kazaa or LimeWire or Napster. It was I was doing just random torrents at that point. So I had this record for a couple years. I eventually bought it on Amazon for a penny. In probably 2005, I bought it for a penny.
Miss those days.
And yeah, so yeah, that's my origin story is the music video on MTV in 2002 because this record came out in 2002. So it had to have been that year as well. And I was so obsessed with that song and I was so obsessed with this album. And I've listened to this album continuously for the last 23 years, literally 23 years now.
Good.
I always listen to this album. I love this album.
Good.
So that goes along with my first impressions. I fucking love this album and I've listened to this album hundreds of times over the last 23 years. So that's my first impression. What are your first impressions on this record?
My first impressions of this record are I get why this band could have been big, and I get why this band didn't fucking nobody gave a shit about them because they try to do a lot of things in this one record, and they don't do anything like exceptionally, but they try and do a lot of different genres, and they try and incorporate a lot of their 90s influences into this one record. It's like each song is kind of like really different from the last and different from the middle or the song coming after it, but it's never like exceptional. It's always actually there are stinkers on this record, but
okay,
yeah.
Settle down. There are no stinkers.
There are some stinkers. There's some stinky stinks in this one.
No stinky stinks. Okay, all right, okay. That's your first impression. That's fine. I think this band came out at the wrong time. I think had it been 3-4 years prior to this, I think this band would have been a lot more successful. I get it. They came out with, this is their third record, and they came out, the first two records were just completely fucking unknown. They were on, like the first record was only on cassette. The second record was only on cassette and CD, which are very hard to come by. And I've listened to that second record a couple times, but dude, I could not find that record anywhere online. Like you can't even fucking buy that on Discogs. Like it was last sold like a year ago on Discogs on CD. So it's on my want list, but yeah, I mean, you cannot find that shit anywhere. A lot of the stuff, like videos I used to watch back in the day, like the AOL sessions they were on, that used to all be on YouTube like 10, 15 years ago, but it's all gone now. Like all of that AOL stuff is gone. A lot of the old live videos are all gone. It's just fucking completely been wiped clear of the internet at this point, which is a shame because I mean, I don't know. I think this record's fucking great. But I do agree with you. They cover a lot of territory within the record and even within some of the songs. There's a lot of shit going on.
Yeah.
But that's what makes the record exciting. It's not just like
it makes it interesting. Not always exciting. Some of these songs, dudes, like middle of this album, not good.
I wouldn't say it's not good.
It's not.
I would just
good.
say it's not as good. But it's not that it's not good. It's just not as good as the rest of the album.
They almost have 3 stinkers in a row.
Okay, okay. So let's get into that. How many bangers do you have? How many bangers do you have? And there
3?
are 12 songs. There are 12 songs on this record.
I have 3 bangers. And then like some of the later tracks I think are cool and fun to listen to. But I wouldn't call them bangers. But I have 3 true bangers. Like 3 songs I was like, dude, that's a fucking good song. Including Icy Sound.
All right. No, just middle of the no middle tier, nothing.
I have a lot of middle tier, like Hearing Things middle, Last Night's Dream middle, Cocaine's middle, Almost a Stinker, Plastic's middle, Sleepy, Straight Line, Not Really, you're all middle.
Okay. Stinkers. What are the stinkers? Let's hear that shit.
So the true stinkers are Leftover and Lover's Quarrel. Lover's Quarrel's the worst. That's the stinkiest of stinkers. That song fucking sucks.
The stinkiest of stinkers.
The
Okay.
stinkiest of stinkers.
Okay. So I will say I have 11 bangers. 11 bangers, and I have one okay song, no stinkers.
It better be Lover's Quarrel.
My okay song is my okay song is Leftovers. My Lover's Quarrel is my 10B. So
What's
there
your
you go.
11B?
Straight Line.
No.
Second to last song, I believe. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, even still, bottom tier for me.
Interesting. Okay.
But
okay.
you know, in the end, I have 11 bangers. I really do love all these songs, and even putting Leftovers as an okay song was kind of hard for me.
Dude, it's just not good when he strains his
No.
voice like that. It is not good.
It's not the greatest, but the songs and the melodies are fucking there, dude. They're fucking there.
But then
it's
Lover's
so good.
Quarrel is not there though. Like why the fuck does he want to sing like this? He's not good at it. And like this is an attempt at writing a catchy ballad, but you can't. So you just repeat love over and over and over until it like becomes catchy because that's just the lyrics to it, right? Like love, like no. This is not catchy. And then like that later part where it's like the 2-part harmony.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that was impressively bad.
Impressively bad. Come on.
That was so fucking bad. But that's it. Everything else is at least like, oh, that was interesting. That was fun.
He does.
The Leftovers
I mean,
and Lover's Quarrel. Duke cannot
Lover's
sing.
Quarrel. Yeah, I mean the falsetto stuff is a little. It's kind of questionable, but you know, I don't know. Whatever.
And he
It's
strains
fine.
his voice like Rivers strained his voice, right? And like Rivers does it in like an endearing way where like the music aesthetically matches what he's trying to convey, like lyrically. And like these lyrics are just, they're fine, they're cute. It's a lot of love, and like there's nothing complex or deep, but there's nothing like overly cheesy. Like it was a fun read, and like, sometimes I was like, oh, that was really good. But like it's just you can't do the strain, dude. Not everybody can do it, and that's fine.
I mean, in the end, Moth are like on this record at least. The band is like they're a solid B tier fucking band.
B, you think Moth is B?
Moth is B. Yeah, Moth is a
like-
B tier band.
Moth is like
No,
D.
don't do it. Don't do it. Don't. No.
I would say C tier because like F is just like you didn't even try. You're clearly just a dickhead. D is like maybe you're just really really bad. That's it, really. But like F is like you didn't even fucking try. Do you think he's ripping people off and you got caught doing it, right? Then C like has to be just like okay, there's no reason for you to exist. And Moth is C tier.
No, come on, dude.
There's no
Moth is
reason for
better
this to
than that.
exist.
Moth is better than that. I think you're really just
They don't-
kind of.
They don't have a
These
massive
melodies are
fan
fucking
base.
great.
They don't. They
No,
don't
it doesn't
have
matter.
like.
They
It
okay,
does matter
we're
though.
not. No, we're not talking about
Music
the fan.
is
We're talking about the
subjective.
music.
The half of music is how it's interpreted by the people you're playing it for. And if they don't have a massive, there's not a
True.
huge calling for Moth, then it's like your impact on the world was absolutely nothing. At least like shitty bands that people like we talked about Sleep Token, right? At least like Sleep Token, people want to hear them for whatever fucking reason. People want to hear that. So even that's at least like Sleep Token's at least C tier. Even though they should be D tier because they've no reason for that band to exist.
Yeah, but Moth, like they have really, really solid melodies.
Sometimes
There's some pretty cool guitar parts here and there. Josh Freese's drums on this record is actually
fine.
surprisingly no
They're
for
fine, dude.
for a record where he was essentially a session drummer. His drums are a lot better. Like if you throw his drums up against like the Evanescence record that he did, that first Evanescence record, this is leaps and bounds better than that record.
there are parts of it where he's doing
Other
something
records
fun,
too.
and there's a couple songs I'm like, oh, cool, man, this song is actually really good because like Josh is helping because you guys can't do it on your own. Josh is helping to build like the tension. Josh is helping to build this song because the band can't do it on their own.
I disagree with you on that.
Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there.
disagree
baby
with you.
girl.
But Lover's Quarrel, I really do like this song, but it's definitely lower
That
tier.
song sucks, dude. That song's so bad.
I do like the heavy distorted like bass or guitar that leads into the chorus. It's so out of nowhere, but I love it for some reason. It's so good.
I mean, you
Anyway.
love it because like it's nostalgic, and like this is the band that
It's not even
that
nostalgia.
like nobody
These songs
likes
are
and nobody
fucking
loves. So
good.
like for so long, you've talked about Moth and like, oh, check out this band, but like it's not that good. This is really
Actually,
not that good.
a few days ago, she's like, "What are you guys doing on the pod?" Tammy was like, "What are you guys doing on the podcast next?" I said, "Oh, we're doing Moth," and she's like, "Oh yeah, I was wondering why you kept playing them so much." Like she's like, I would have never thought. Like she was surprised that we were doing them on the podcast, but then she recognized the band because I play this fucking band so goddamn much, or I play them so much over the years that she fucking recognizes them. I love it.
No, that's cool.
Fucking love it.
That's good. That's good.
Love
Good. Good.
All right, so I mean, obviously, we're not going to talk about Leftovers, which is fine. I mean, we really don't have to talk about. They're much better songs. So let's get into your biggest banger. Let's start with your BB, your biggest banger. What do you got?
Go. Thinking, please. Thinking, please.
Fuck yeah, that's my 1B as well. Thinking Please is the best song on this entire record.
Yeah, for
Hands-
sure.
This is the best song they've ever done. This song
Not
is
saying
incredible.
much. Not saying much because we listened to 3 records this week. Their last record, like
Immune to
that
Gravity.
that record sucks.
Love it. Love
Like
it.
that's silly boy talk because for you to hate that era of like mid 2000s indie like hyperactive dance pop, like all the hot heats we talk about, and then you love that record, like that's
do.
wild because it's literally exactly the same as everybody else was doing that Rooney
But
did.
better.
You turn on the
But
OC, every fucking band that played on the OC sounded exactly like that record. So even Moth was like, fuck man, what we're doing, nobody gives a shit about. What do people like right now? They like this. They like Arctic Monkeys. Let's try and do that. And even that, they can't even do very well.
They
That
did
record
it
was
better.
not good.
The Arctic Monkeys are not that great.
Here, that's something.
So also with that record. So okay, before we get into Thinking Please, like I said, there's 5 records. There's a couple EPs and like compilations and shit like that. But there are 5 records in total. The only ones on Spotify and the other major streaming sites are Provisions, the album we're doing today, and then Drop Deaf. It was the album that came out right after this. The 5th record, Immune to Gravity, came out in 2006. A couple of the songs on that record were re-recordings of songs off of Drop Deaf, including that title track, Drop Deaf. And at that point, yeah, nobody cared about the fucking band. But at that time, I worked at Tower Records, and that album was coming out because I followed them on MySpace, and they were playing actually a lot of shows at the time. Moth were, but not here. They're playing like all Midwest shit because they're from Ohio, and that album was coming out, and I remember I was like, I'm going to order like 5 of these CDs for Tower Records, and I got one. I obviously kept one for myself. That Immune to Gravity. Nobody bought the other 4 CDs. But I played that record all the fucking time at the store at Tower Records. I played that record all the time. Nobody cared, unfortunately. But I think Immune to
Not
Gravity.
unfortunately.
I think that album is fucking killer. But there's only 3.
Why?
I think there's only like 3 songs that you can even find on YouTube. So over the next couple weeks, I'm going to upload that entire record to YouTube because I do have it on CD, like I said. So I'm going to upload that. But yeah, I mean this band, it's so hard to find anything on this band. And including their music, but anyway, I
mean
wanted to throw that out there.
that does suck in general. Like if you made music and if you even like released music through a label of in any capacity, like it sucks that it's not there somewhere to be listened to for even just like the most basic reason, just to be judged, right, for posterity's sake. Like if you made music, like it should be available for people to make their own decision whether or not they like it or hate it. But yeah, Immune to Gravity, and like also the fact that he changed his voice and now he's singing like at a higher pitch whiny voice. The entire record was essentially just like the broken face on by the Pixies, like, a broken face, yeah. Like that intro part. That was supposed to be like a fun part of that entire record, but that's how he sings the entire time, and it's fucking garbage. And I get it. This is just the last record from a band who didn't get a fair shake, and they're all pissed off, and they're trying to like, fuck it, dude. How do we still be a band and maybe make money? Let's just be a fucking C tier Arctic Monkeys, and that's what this is.
B tier, but okay.
No, C tier Arctic Monkeys. Arctic Monkeys are A tier. The first record's A tier.
So let's get into Thinking Please. Then we'll get more into
Thinking Please.
the background of the record, the label, and what was going on at the time. But yeah, Thinking Please. your number one banger, my number one banger, our one B's. So what do you got? Go.
It's fun to hear. It's fun to hear something that sounds like identical to Modest Mouse, without it being Modest Mouse and being well before Modest Mouse. Not well before, but being before Modest Mouse.
Better than Modest Mouse.
Calm down there, baby girl. I do like this song a lot because it sounds like fucking Modest Mouse. Quirky verses. I love this chorus. Like the big open chords in the first part, and like how the bass gets the second half of the 2-note riff chorus. So it's just like big open chords in the first part of that 2-note riff chorus, and the bass gets its own little second part there. Everything's kind of like dragged on a little bit. Everything's dumbed down, but still highly, highly melodic. I love how I like how fast he gets everything out, right? Just how fast he can just get all his words out. And like the solo, dude, it's scene kid sloppy. It's quick, it's easy. It's like sloppy on the surface, but there's a little bit of heart to it. There's a little bit of oomph to it, and it matches the song perfectly. It's a good song.
It is. It's a great song. And one thing about this record and this song too is that the way he sings the lyrics within all the lines within the verses, he throws a lot of words out there, but he also kind of there's certain inflections on certain words that make it sound like it's going to be the end of that line or the end of that verse, but then he drops into something else, and he just there's a lot of shit going on this record, and this specific song especially. The verses here, you get the clean note picking of the guitars, and then both of the guys are singing, both Brad and Bob, the other guitar player. They're kind of like harmonizing with each other, singing at the same time, and it fucking sounds great. And then it just drops into that incredible fucking chorus. It is so goddamn catchy. And I will say that guitar solo is very, very much Jimmy Eat World's The Middle. Like, it sounds so much like it. Has that same kind of feel and the same kind of tone as Jimmy Eat World's The Middle. Not a knock to Moth, but
there's another song on here too where like they're clearly trying to be like Jimmy Eat World. Oh no, it was on what's it called? Immune to Gravity.
Immune to Gravity, yeah. The last record
the song Perfect. Like that song was very, very like wannabe Jimmy Eat World ballad, but that song was a stinker.
Perfect. Like he just starts out with like super fucking whiny. Love that song. Love that song. But also, okay, so the drums on Thinking Please, because this is Josh Freese season. The verses here, it's like he's doing that the ride cymbal thing with the soft snare hits, with the rim shots on the snare. Like it's very fast, like it's very upbeat, but it's very subdued and quiet. Like it's the perfect dynamic for what the band is trying to do at that moment, because the vocals are very kind of whispery, kind of quiet, and Josh kind of keeps it that way too. And then it just drops into the bigger, heavier, faster choruses. And honestly, this entire record has a lot of quiet, loud dynamic to it, which is very, very popular at the time in music, in pop rock music, metal music. So makes sense.
I mean, we're in freezing here, so yes, we should bring up the drumming, but like, come on. Come on.
Dude, Josh's drums are still great on this. Come on, you can't fucking deny that.
Okay, you put any other like just good drummer of the 90s and 2000s in here, it'd be exactly the same. He's doing nothing here that makes. Had we not said this was Josh Freese, if we were like, oh, this is Adam, like, oh yeah, okay, I don't hear anything there. I don't hear anything special. But like this, they're fine, dude. They're fine. They're fine.
And when we say Adam, we're talking about Adam Willard, who played in Rocket from the Crypt, Angels and Airwaves, Against Me, and is now in Alkaline Trio. Very, very famous drummer, but he joined the band because Josh Freese and Tommy Stinson decided not to play in the band after they recorded this record. So Adam replaced Josh, and then
he's in the video.
Adam is in the video for Icy Sound. But then also, who replaced Tommy Stinson was this guy named Ted Lisinski. I don't know how to pronounce it, but he was like in Hedwig and the Angry Inch. I don't know, the Broadway show of that in the 90s or some shit like that.
Did you so like some of the reviews I was reading on this record, the reviewer would say that Adam Willard is a drummer, and so I was like, why the fuck does everybody keep saying Adam Willard is a drummer? Like don't you just read the credits or whatever? And so I thought like, okay, maybe on the back of the CD case or whatever, it would said like Adam Willard, even though he didn't play on there. Because even on Discogs, sometimes it'll say Adam Willard credited only, But then I look on the back, because on Discogs you can see someone took a picture of the back of the CD case.
Yeah.
Like, no, clear as fucking day. It says Josh Freese drums. And so you fucking idiots, bro. Like, even back then, like nobody gave you a CD just to turn around and look at the production credits to see that this guy does not play in the fucking band, or at least wasn't recorded on the album.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of funny.
Now, fun fact here, and I've talked about this on the podcast before. I did meet Adam Willard one time. It was when Angels and Airwaves were doing a signing at Virgin Records in Orange back in 2007.
I called you. You would not do what I asked you to do.
I would not. Yeah. So anyway, so I met the band at that store at that time, and I was a huge fan of Moth, obviously, and I knew Adam was in the band. Now, keep in mind, when I bought the Moth CD, like in 2005 off of Amazon, I bought a promo CD of the album. So the only thing that was legitimate was the promo, the actual CD that was a promo, and there was no booklet. It was just like the cover art, like with a white backing to it. It was purely a promo that I bought off Amazon for a penny. So I assume, and this is before Wikipedia, and I assumed Adam played on the record.
If there's no booklet, I get that, and he's in the fucking video.
So I thought Adam was in the band because I knew the video, I knew who Adam was. So I was for sure he was in the band. And the signing, so I had my I Empire CD, I had my We Don't Need to Whisper CD from Angels and Airwaves, and then I had the Moth CD. And I'm like, fuck, dude, Adam's gonna be really impressed by this. So I go and I'm like, hey, can you sign this Moth record? And he's like, holy shit, I haven't seen this shit in years. Like, he was really kind of stoked on it. He's like, I loved playing in this band. They were really cool, but I did not play on this record. And I'm like, really? You didn't? I was like, and he's like, no, I came in after the band recorded the record, but it's not me on the record, but I'll still sign it. And I'm like, I'd really appreciate it if you did. So he signed my Moth CD. And so that's my story with him. He was so nice about it. And he was so excited that somebody talked to him about Moth, because he had nothing but like nice things to say about the band. And I love that. I think Adam he was such a nice dude about it. So anyway, that's my story of meeting Adam Willard the one time I did, and I brought him a Moth CD that he did not play on.
I get it. That makes sense. And there wasn't a Wikipedia, and you got a promo, so those are all valid excuses. Excuses.
But he did sign that, and then the whole band signed my Angels and Airwaves CDs at the time. So,
good.
There you go.
Especially I Empire, because that's their best CD.
And even Matt Wachter, who did not play on We Don't Need to Whisper, he signed that CD for me as well. So that was nice of him.
If he's sitting there doing nothing else, might as well.
Why not?
But you wouldn't even ask Tom to be put on the phone when I asked you to.
No, I would not. I did not. Yeah, that's too embarrassing. The only time I ever met Tom, that was the only time I ever met Tom DeLong. So there you go. Why didn't you? I don't know why you didn't go. I really don't know why you didn't go. It was Tammy and I.
I don't know.
I have no idea why you didn't go.
But like at the time, when was that?
It's 2007.
7. So I was
like late 07.
Was that Fridays at the time, or Dave and Buster's? I might have been at Fridays. So
I think you were Fridays.
I think it was at work. Yeah. I don't know.
But anyway. So Thinking Please, that's our 1B. Lyrically, it's about a girl. You know, he was with at a certain time, and he's just moving on with. Or she's been moving on with her life, and he's just kind of devastated by the whole thing. The whole record is about heartbreak, a little bit of depression and shit like that. But overall, it's just about heartbreak. So nothing too deep, but it's good.
Nothing too deep, but also nothing too like super superficial where it's like, man, you can do better. It's all just like, it's decent writing. And decent writing, I will take any day of the week over just bad writing. Like for me, bad writing is like something I would write. I'm like, dude, that's just like something I would write, and I would not want to listen to that. But none of this fits that bill. Even Lover's Quarrel doesn't fit that bill. The song sucks, but the lyrics are fine.
Oh, doesn't suck, but
that song fucking sucks, dude. You're a ballad man though. Like I'm not quite there on the ballads yet. Like your Alkaline Trio made you ballad man, so I get it.
Okay, so do we have anything else on the song "Thinking Please"?
Don't.
Are we all good there? All right. So let's get into to your number 2 banger, your 2B. What do you got?
My number, Icy Sound. I'm just laughing when people put their hats on top of their heads. And they don't even like push them down. You know, like, you know what I'm talking
so
about.
Annoying. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's usually like white guys doing that. Yeah, it's really
Like
really
super
annoying.
up top. And the sticker too. Keep the sticker on.
Oh, the sticker's the worst. Sticker on the bottom of the brim. It's the
Keep
worst.
the sticker on. You can turn. I never understood that. I mean, I keep the tag on. Remember Disneyland? We used to go to Disneyland.
Yeah.
And like sometimes I forget my jacket, so I buy a jacket of Quicksilver and then return it on the way home.
Oh yeah, you used to do that, huh?
Yeah, if it was like cold as fuck and I didn't bring a jacket,
It's so
yeah, you
dumb.
keep the tag on, but don't worry about the sticker. So anyway,
Yeah, but okay, but not a tag on a hat. A tag on a shirt or a hoodie. That's fine, but not on a hat.
would you not like would you not return a hat, or are you just gonna take the tag off entirely?
I wouldn't. I would take off the tag. I wouldn't. I would never return a hat. Well, I wouldn't. I wouldn't say I would never return one, but I've never returned a hat. Never thought about returning a hat.
Okay.
Anyway, who cares?
Okay.
Let's move on.
I care.
Icy Sound. That's your number
I
2
see
B.
sound.
2B.
That's my
Two banger.
2B.
That's my 4B. So
Gotcha.
let's get into it.
We're being peepee tonight. We're being pretentious.
10 pretentious.
Gotcha. We're
The
being
opening
peepee.
track, the biggest song they've ever put out. They did make a music video for this one. The music video is really stupid. It doesn't really make much sense.
That's
It's just
boring.
it's I
It's
kind of get
boring.
what they were going for, but it was still very dumb, over the top, cheesy, dumb. I don't know.
It's like the music video kind of like embodies this band. It's like, damn, you were so close, but you were just so far. Like you just didn't quite hone it in properly. And we're signed a version now. This is our big record label debut, and like now we got a little bit of money behind us. Let's make a big video, and they opt for like just a shitty kind of performance video, and like the house aesthetic and the color scheme. It's like, come on, dude.
It was so of its time though. The performance with the concept of the video that has nothing to do with the band, and it has all those bright colors, the bright yellows, the bright reds, the bright greens.
But like
It's
now
all
you
very
have
much of the
you
time.
have some
Yellows.
money to spend, so like get out there and do it. Like go big or go home. Bankrupt yourself or put out that video. And like that's stupid. It's a stupid video. It's a stupid video, and it's a video that I understand why nobody gave a fuck about this band. But the song's cool. It's an early, like kind of like emo kind of song. It's like, I don't know. Obviously the drum beat's the most fun part of the song here, because
Yeah.
I think it's very basic. Like the song's very easy to get into, but that drum beat's got a little spice to it. And this is the
It's got
only
a lot
time
of
on the
spice,
record
man.
that I
Got a
think
lot
like
of
Josh
spice.
Freese spices up a drum beat. This is the only time. And I like the bass coming through a little bit too. It's nice. It's a cool song. I don't think the song overall is super melodically catchy, but has like a catchy gait to it. It's very bouncy. And those little hays on the offbeat, a lot of fun parts of the song.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the parts I don't think are like overly melodic. It's just a fun overall song. It's fun to bounce to.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the really only overtly catchy part is the icy sound from all around. Like that's really the
Which
catchiest
is
part of the
like-
whole song. But it's really only one line.
Yeah,
You know?
you're just talking essentially and just going
Yeah.
down. Icy sound all around. Like that's not.
Yeah, I know, but it's really the entirety of the song and how the song jumps. Like it's just like this normal kind of like driving along, and then it goes into this like the disco beat and like the boom bap, like the very like the what is like the polka kind of thing that they do with Josh Freese just fucking leading that. Like Josh Freese is the reason why this song is so fucking great, because his transitions are great. He knows when to switch up, not tempos, but switch up parts and switch up styles, because you go from this normal straightforward kind of rock song to that polka thing, and then you go back to the straightforward stuff. Then you get this fucking really short but really kind of rad drum solo, and it drops into the halftime heavy ass bridge, and then it drops into more choruses, more transitions, more fill, like fucking great fills from Josh. Like there's some really rad shit on here. And then the guitar solo, short and fucking sweet. A lot of wah. I love me some
Yeah.
wah on that guitar, or wah wah. Some people, or whatever you
And
want
it kind
to
of
say.
slows down a little bit too. It's like
Yeah.
it's a little
That-
chuggy.
That great fucking heavy bridge, man. It gets so good. There's so much that
And
happens
then right
within
back into it. Ding, ding,
within
ding,
two.
ding, ding,
The song is at what 3 minutes and 10 seconds long, and it's like 4 different songs within 3 minutes. There's so much that fucking happens, but it never seems and it all connects perfectly. There's no part that seems so jarring and odd, like a prog song. Like a lot of prog songs can, they'll jump from one genre to the other, and it makes no fucking sense. But everything here just flows seamlessly. It's honestly a perfect fucking song. It's a perfect song, perfect pop rock, perfect pop punk song. It's absolutely perfect through and through. Objectively, it is. It truly, truly is. And I agree with you. Tommy's bass playing in this one, Tommy Stinson's bass playing in this, fantastic, fucking fantastic.
Isn't it weird that dude Tom? So like what I read in some random interview at some point was that Josh is the one that got Tommy the job in Guns N' Roses, because Josh was the one that phoned like I'm in the UK. Oh, he phoned me on the telly. Josh is the one that called up Tommy and was like, "Hey, dude, Guns N' Roses needs a new bass player. Are you in?" He's like, "What? Guns N' Roses?" Like, no way, I can do that. Meanwhile, he was in the Replacements, and like people fucking love the Replacements, and he was on Tim. But then also like later on, Josh became the touring musician for the Replacements, so they played together again decades later, which I think is fucking wild.
Well, not only that, no, it's, I mean, Josh was playing in the Replacements like in the early 90s, like 90, 91, because there was that famous SNL incident where the Replacements played on the show and the whole band stopped, and then out of nowhere Josh Freese yelled Burt Reynolds, and then Paul Westerberg like broke down laughing because it was just so fucking stupid and so dumb. This 19-year-old kid playing drums just yells out Burt Reynolds, and the band almost like fell apart on live TV. And that was like 91, and Tommy Stinson was in the band, obviously, in the Replacements at the time. So like there's been this long relationship with Josh and Tommy. Josh joined Guns N' Roses in 95 or 96, I believe, 97. And he left the band in 2001 to join A Perfect Circle. And then Tommy stayed in Guns N' Roses until I think 2006 or something like that. So I mean there's the Guns N' Roses connection, obviously. But it was Tommy who he didn't discover Moth, but he really liked what they were doing in the LA scene. And he's like, I really want to be involved with these guys. I think he played some shows with them. He got involved with the record. He probably got them to deal with the Virgin Records. And then he brought in Josh because Josh is the fucking one of the greatest. So I don't know who. That's the timeline of it.
I mean, I don't know what label the Replacements were on at the time, but once Tim hit,
I think they were Geffen.
Mid 80s. I know like later on they were on Sire. And like Tim is like their fucking album, like their biggest record that everybody loves, and like I only know this and I've listened to it and like it's whatever's. But
I'm not a fan of the Replacements. I've never really got it.
I know David, my partner David, likes them a lot, and we sell this record like fucking crazy. It is really really good. Something I wouldn't take home, but like that was on Sire, and I don't think Sire was ever owned or affiliated with Virgin at all. But that was like the mid 80s, right? And like by the time the 90s hit, like the Replacements were already done, and like their tenure had run its course, and they were done by 92, 93, 94. Mm-hmm. So you had nothing else to do. So what else do? You look for other bands that you could mold into whatever you want them to be. And Moth could have fit that bill. And Tommy has enough kind of like oomph behind him, enough sway that this could have worked.
Too. He has
but
a lot
I also
of
think that like
the Replacements.
Don't forget too, like in this era of Virgin Records, like some of those like Midwest, because they're from Cincy, and so it's like some of the Midwest subsidiary, not subsidiary, but like offices of Virgin labels folded over and became like Capitol. They became other things, and so when things like that happen, a lot of the bands that are on like the big label, when the big label kind of shortens itself or reduces its size, a lot of the bands that aren't worth. Like who do we talk about? They're like Jimmy Eat World, right? Like
with Static Prevails, yeah.
Like nobody cares. So like you just get cut, you get dropped, and so like I think it was like 2003, where like Virgin closed a couple record or of their offices in the Midwest, and so when that happened, it was like, well, Moth is a band that's not making us money. Like we don't have time or money to put into them. Dropped, and like once you get dropped by a big label like that in this era. You're
fucked.
You're done.
Yeah.
Dead in water.
So 2002, they were signed, and this record came out in 2002, And at the time, this record had come out, and within like a few weeks after the record, maybe a month after the record came out, at the time Mariah Carey was signed to Virgin Records, and they ended up dropping Mariah Carey. They breached their contract, so they ended up not only paying her what they owed on the contract, but also $20 million as a severance for her to break the contract, or to break the contract for her. So they paid a shit ton of money to Mariah Carey for literally nothing. They dropped probably half of their roster because they're just not making money, and they needed to somehow make up all those millions and millions of dollars. So at this point, after like a month of being the record being out, they'd only sold about 15,000 copies, and they were just completely forgotten about. Like no marketing, advertising for the band. But clearly, you could tell prior to that happening, there was going to be something happening. There were a lot of showcase shows, showcasing back in LA, like the Viper Room and various other like major venues in LA. You know, the big music video that was played on MTV all the time. That's how I discovered them. So they were clearly being promoted strongly by the label, but then the Mariah Carey thing happened, and it all literally went to shit. And that's why I think one reason why the band didn't take off, because they were promised so much from Virgin, and Virgin completely dropped the fucking ball on him.
But like you said earlier, this dude is 2002. This is not what we want
It's
right
a little
now.
late, yeah.
This is not
Had this
what we
been-
want right now in
Had this
2002.
been 1997, 1996?
Yeah, totally different story
It would've
for
been
sure.
way
This would
more
be a different
successful.
conversation. And like the records that they released after this, like, come on, you have to admit their fifth record or the Immunogravity. That's literally just like, fuck, dude. I don't know what to do. This is our last ditch effort. Let's just do what everybody else is doing. Like right
That's
off
fair.
the bat, that record is fucking Arctic Monkeys, and it's crazy because they never did that before. Like, yeah, they like picked and choose different genres and wore their inspirations on their sleeves or whatever. But like that record is wild, and it's like sad. So I think like they should have been released mid to late 90s. Like Virgin kind of fucked them over, but then also just like there's not a whole lot here. There just really isn't. Like there's nothing here that's like extraordinary. There's a lot of good stuffs here, but you can make a good career out of doing good stuff. There's nothing fucking wrong with that.
Look at Bad Religion. Look at Pennywise.
Look at Bayside.
Look at Millencolin. Look at Lagwagon. Look at Bayside.
So many fucking
so
bands.
many bands.
Like, there's nothing
A
wrong
Day to
with just
Remember,
being fine, right? That's okay. Like they're still fun to enjoy. I think for sure, like the big things were just
Bad Religion was a bad thing to say. I didn't mean to say Bad
I don't
Religion.
give a fuck. Bad Religion's first record like is iconic and historic, but everything else is like, who cares?
No Control, man, is fucking great too.
It's not their best, but it's really, really good. For
It
sure.
is the best, but okay.
In 2002, what are they doing? Releasing this in 2002?
Yeah.
Like, bro,
Yeah, it's almost like I feel like when we did Bullets and Octane back, whenever we did the Revelry last, and it's much the same thing. That record came out in 2004, and it's like, man, dude, if that Bullets and Octane record came out 10 years prior, it would have fucking blown up.
dude, if
It was
Bullets and
just
Octane were opening
too
up for Van Halen in like the early 80s, it would have been wild.
or
It
even
would have been
late
huge.
80s, even late, like opening up for, like if Bullets were opening up for Guns N' Roses like in 1989, 1988, dude, that record would have fucking exploded.
Too late.
But it was just too fucking late, man. Great fucking record, but it didn't fit the scene of the time.
Whatever. Yeah,
But I see sound. Let's get back to that.
But I see sound. But I see sound.
I see
from all
sound.
around.
Lyrically, it's he's tired of the monotony of life, but then he's just realizing that life is going by way too fast, and it's just this like depression, anxiety that sets in. And we've all kind of felt that way, It's just like you're just kind of going through the ups and downs of life and just forget, just I don't know.
Yeah,
The-
that's it.
Lyrically, this song was very relatable to me as a 38-year-old. I feel, as stupid as that sounds, but yeah, it's just so like life is just kind of monotonous and boring, man.
That's
Not great, not bad, but not great.
I mean, like, it is kind of funny because people always say, like, oh, life is so short. It's like, well, like, it's kind of not. And, like, the whole carpe diem, it's like, oh, that's not fucking reasonable, right? It's not, like, that's not fiscally responsible or even feasible for most people to just do whatever they want at any point that they want to do it for as long as they want to do it. It's just not the way it fucking works. Like humankind is, we work for a living. We've been working for thousands of years. Like we work.
Yeah. And honestly,
No.
we work a whole hell of a lot less than, 4 generations ago. You know what I
We
mean?
work a
It's
lot
like,
easier too. Our jobs are easier, like less stressful. We live longer, but like life is kind of fucking long. There are days where it's just fucking boring, and it's like, fuck, man. If I could, I would just go to sleep and wake up tomorrow and just go on that day because this day kind of fucking sucks, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yep. All right,
Good.
so let's get into another song. What's your 3B?
Burning down my sanity.
All right, that's my 6B. So let's get
Gotcha.
into this.
This one's weird because it's kind of a stupid song. Very, very
yeah.
90s sounding. And like the
So
repetition of the fire, I think gets fucking annoying. But dude, I'll tell you, man, this chorus is the best on the record. It is so
best?
goddamn good.
Better
It
than
is,
Thinking Please?
oh,
Come
dude,
on.
this chorus is unreal. And that's why it's a banger for me, because I don't like these verses. They're stupid. The whole like eventually more power, more
Like,
right. It's like the
You
same
Avenged
vein as
Sevenfold
that.
record? Yeah. That's I didn't even think about that, but yeah.
But when that fucking
embarrassing.
chorus hits, dude, I'm just like, whoa, that's good. It has, I don't know, it has that weird like, I don't know, like New Radicals kind of vibe to it. Just for like,
It does. There's a lot of electronic stuff going on, like with the beat, some synth stuff, keyboard stuff going on, which is New Radicals is actually a good way of putting it. That's like a great comparison. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, a very New Radicals thing, especially when it drops into that chorus, because it's that more electronic thing going on. That's good. That's good.
Can't bust that love for me. I love that fucking chorus so much.
Even like Savage Garden. I know you
love Savage Garden.
you
I know.
hate Savage Garden,
know.
but
Everybody
there
does.
actually is a lot of Savage Garden on this song too. No, it's good, man. It's so fucking catchy. The delayed vocals, it's just it's delayed vocals. But I remember I've seen videos of them doing this live on the AOL sessions, which are not on YouTube anymore. But it was cool. It was cool watching Brad do the main part and then Bob, the other guitar player, do the delay. Like it wasn't just Brad doing a delay effect. Bob was doing it at the right time. So it was like this kind of cool back and forth thing going on. It didn't sound perfect or great, but it was really cool. Like it was very very
that describes his band to a T, right? Like,
but it was also like something very
perfect or
kind of
great, but it was just really
also kind
endearing
of like
and fun.
but kind of like ambitious a little bit. It's like this is kind of like a ballsy thing for you to do on a song, but you still decided to go for it, and it still sounds pretty fucking cool.
Again, describing this
Fucking
band to a
dig,
T.
man.
It's
That's another
ballsy,
thing.
it's ambitious.
This band is not
But-
perfect, and they don't need to be perfect. That's the thing too. Like they do so many different things. They're like one of those bands. Like when a band first starts out, their first record is very ambitious. It's very all over the place. It's amateur, but it's so endearing and it's so cool and rad because of it. It's like the first Thrice record, Identity Crisis. It has all of those elements. I know it's not a fair comparison comparing Thrice to Moth, but it's kind of in that same vein. It's very just kind of all over the place and ambitious and fun and great, carefree. I love it, and that's what
This is
I
their
love
first
about this
record,
record so
though.
much. It's their third record. I get it, but it. Even so.
Honestly, I would really. I don't give a fuck about the records after this. I really, really don't. And this one's even kind of like wishy-washy. But damn, I would really, really love to hear their first few records, especially their first record.
So they have so the way it worked is they have prior to this they have like Big League Fantasy Camp, which came out right before this or a few years before this. And I remember I used to listen to that record a lot because I did have digital versions of those songs, but I have no idea where those songs are. So those are gone. So I'm waiting to buy a CD of that. And then they had a self-titled record that was only on cassette called Moth, and never heard that. But then apparently they were back in like 1990 because the band formed in 1988, I believe. And in 1990 they had a record called Insect or Bug. They were prior to Moth. They were called Insect or Bug. I don't remember which
They're
one it
called
was.
Bug.
Was a Bug. Okay, so that was technically their
Junior
first
reference.
one. That was technically their first record, but it was a different name for the band. I've never ever heard that. And then, like I said, I've never heard their self-titled record from like '91.
So, we're just talking about this shit now. You can buy an early 7-inch for theirs with shipping, good condition for less than $10.
For what though?
The songs are Deeper Green and Skinny Flesh.
But it's just a 7-inch of.
It's just a 7-inch, so it's in between their first record and Big League Fantasy Camp.
I didn't see that one.
You don't
link
look.
it to me.
Look. You don't look.
Link it to me, and I'll probably buy it.
You should buy it because I'm so goddamn curious. I really, really am.
So
because I like the idea of this record, but again, it's just too fucking late. And it seems like they would have already been doing this sound before. It's just this is like the more digestible version of what I think their first or second record would sound like.
From what I remember, I haven't listened to Big League Fantasy Camp in probably almost 20 years. It's been very, very, very long since I've listened to that record. Because like I said, I cannot find that. I only had it digitally and I don't know where the fuck it is. But I remember it sounding very, very amateur sounding. Like production wise, it was super fucking raw. I remember it being very catchy, but it was super fucking raw. And then they put out a compilation just before Provisions called, what was it? Except a Butterfly or something like that. I can't remember what it's called right now. But it was essentially 2 EPs. One EP was 4 songs that were on this record, Provisions, and then the other 4 songs were all B-sides from this album. And I had that CD, but I don't know where the fuck that CD is. So I know I've heard those 4 B-sides, but I don't know where it is, so I'm probably going to buy that CD again. You can get it for like $7 on Discogs. So I'll probably buy that CD again. But yeah. But anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. But
I'm just so curious because
this band is just There's so little about them.
I don't think that like what we listened to this week was great. I like the ideas. I like records where they're all over the place because they touch upon a little bit of everything. But I would really like to, because I think that with your major label debut, you're not taking a lot of chances, especially 3 records deep. It's kind of like, well, this is our last chance. And not like Virgin Records is going to sign them like to a Blink deal, right? In 2002, they probably got like whatever like the league minimum is for signing to a big label. So they're going to take things a little bit safe. But if this is them doing their normal sound, but like safe, God, I really want to hear their normal sound.
But honestly, like from what I remember, it's been decades, but from what I remember,
like it's been a long time.
I don't remember it being that different from what you hear on Provisions. I really don't think it's that.
But
different.
like we weren't like music men back then. We were just kind of like, you know, and I mean like there's things that I think like, oh, that's probably fucking good. I go back and listen to it, like, holy shit, this is way better, or vice versa, this shit's fucking way worse.
Also, there is a website. I was doing a bunch of digging. There is a website that still supposedly sells the Big League Fantasy Camp on CD for like $11. And I clicked on the link to buy it.
Net?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
So I clicked on the link and it redirects you to PayPal. Yeah, and then it errors out. So I did try to buy it. To buy it off that website a few days ago. Yeah. But it just fucking errored out.
Even that it exists in itself is just fucking wild. Yeah. I've never heard of cityatlas.net.
No, I didn't. But also, when you look at that website, it looks like a GeoCities website from like 2001. You know what I mean? It looks super fucking old. But yeah, I don't know. It's just this band is just. I think this record's fucking incredible. But there's also this band is just there's so little written about them. So it was fun, kind of taking a deep dive, reading old interviews, and then just going into a deeper dive of the individual members themselves. I mean, I still want to talk about a couple other songs, but I do also want to talk about what I was able to find.
How did you know that the dude produced the Foxy Shazam record? Because I only found that out through Discogs.
So yeah, I did find that out through Discogs that he did the Foxy Shazam. I did also find Brad Stenz's. So I'll talk about the social media stuff right now. So I did find So I did see on Discogs he did produce Foxy Shazam in 2005. I also saw he has an Instagram that he only posted one picture on in 2020, and on there he only follows one person. That's Barack Obama, and he has 8 followers. He has 8 followers on his Instagram, and he has 8 followers on Instagram, and one of those followers is some guy who used to play in Foxy Shazam way long ago. But yeah, Discogs was one of those things.
That's pretty fucking dope, though. That's cool.
Also, so Brad Stens, after doing more research and all that kind of like digging more into him, dude, he has like almost no social. He has like almost no internet presence. He has a SoundCloud that he uploaded last, I think, in 2021 or no, 2018. He uploaded last, but it's all like electronic stuff over like between like 2013 and 2018. It was like all electronic stuff, and it was all tagged as soundtrack. So there's a bunch of shit on there, like not bad stuff, but just a lot of ambient stuff, a lot of electronic. But it's clearly him because it's a lot. It's like all of his own pictures, and it's a lot of like kind of Moth related things. So I found his SoundCloud. Like I said, I mentioned I found his Instagram, that one Instagram with only one post where he follows Barack Obama, and then I found his LinkedIn.
That's what I want to know, baby boy.
So I found his LinkedIn. And so it shows on his link. I followed him and I connected with him on LinkedIn through mine. And so on it, it says that in 2006 he went back to college, or 2007 he went back to college. He did like some like marketing shit, and then in 2009 or 10 he started his own like dog daycare center,
Canine Social Club.
Yes, and that's what he's done since then. Like that's his like full-time job in Cincinnati, Ohio. So he runs like a dog care center, which is super fucking cool. And if like you looked at his LinkedIn, there's not much there, but the little bit that's there, like he's super, like he loves animals, like he's very very pro dog. I love that shit. That's super fucking rad.
So like, would you like on your? I don't have a LinkedIn, but like on your LinkedIn, would you reach out to him and then tell him like what we are doing, and then just be like, hey, dude,
I would, yeah. No, I will.
Okay.
I will tell.
Because if you don't do it, I'm going to start doing it to all the bands. Because we talked about like the Job for a Cowboy or some shit where the guy's like a dentist now, and like that's just cool.
Also, I found what's his name from AFI, Mark. What's the guitar player's name? Mark
Adkins McGrath.
Stoffelter. Remember I told you when we did AFI last?
Yeah.
Like, I found Mark on.
He's a
on
dentist,
Spotify.
right?
He's a biologist.
He's
a fucking biologist. But no, I find people on LinkedIn too, and so yeah, I found Brad Stens on LinkedIn, and I hate LinkedIn. Like it's like one of the worst websites ever. Like it's terrible.
I've never had a real job, so I've never used it. I've never had to use it.
It's terrible. LinkedIn is just like, it's the most robotic, most dude, I can't even, like, most utopian website you've ever fucking been on. LinkedIn is terrible.
Is it not good for people like looking for applicants? I don't know.
It used to be, but now at this point it's just filled with bots, and it's just like, dude, I don't even want to get into it. It's fucking terrible. But anyway, so I found him on LinkedIn. So there is that, and then I found some old interviews from like 2002, where like they were like hanging out with somebody from Cincinnati Star or something like that, and they were just drinking in a bar together, and they were talking about how they got signed, and blah blah blah, and then I looked up Bob Gale, who is the guitar player. Gale, whatever. So I looked him up. He's the guitar player who played on this record, who was in Moth for most of their career. He didn't play on Immune to Gravity, but he played on everything prior. So I looked him up, and he does have a LinkedIn. I found his LinkedIn. That's the only thing I could find, and I did find it, and he is head of marketing and advertisement for a car dealership in Cincinnati, Ohio.
So sick.
Forgot the name of the car dealership, but he's also very much into like video editing and shit like that. He's won like local Emmys for whatever that's worth. He's won multiple of that.
That's impressive.
So his LinkedIn shows like where he's worked over X amount of time, and he was, and even on his LinkedIn it shows like, you know, he worked for Virgin Records with Moth as a professional musician, and there's some shit on there like where he's played like in cover bands with like people that he works with. And he's like, it's kind of like a battle of the bands with like people that he works with. And he's like, we have an unfair advantage because like a couple of us are professional musicians, and we just kind of like blew everybody out of the water and shit like that. So like he's like head of marketing and advertisement for like a car dealership in Cincinnati. And that's what he's been doing since like 2004 or 5, whenever he left Moth. But that's as much as I could find out about him. I couldn't find an Instagram. I found some obituaries for his parents that died. But otherwise,
these guys are a little bit old. This is 2002, and they're already 3 records deep, right? So
and these guys are in their early 50s at this point. But yeah, no, I mean that's really all I could find. Neither of them have I mean, I couldn't find really anything for Bob Gale outside of his Instagram or outside of his LinkedIn. But yeah, when it comes to Brad Stens, the only thing, I mean, it's just so minimal. There's like nothing out there for these guys. So there's that. And we talked about Josh Reeves. We talked about Adam Willard. We've talked about Tommy Stinson, the guy who replaced Tommy Stinson after the album came out, Ted Lashinsky. Like I said, he was in the Hedwig. He was in Hedwig and the Angry Inch. He was like in the band that played in that Angry Inch. He was in the band that played in.
I think it's Itch.
Is it Itch or Inch?
Pretty sure it's
I don't
Itch.
know. Whatever. So
Is
anyway,
it Hedwig from Harry Potter?
Hedwig is the name of Harry Potter's
Like
owl. Yeah.
Oh, what's the guy? Maybe it is Inch then. What's the guy's name
Hagrid?
who owns the owl? That's what I'm thinking of.
Well, Hagrid is the groundskeeper of Hogwarts.
Does he own the owl?
No, Harry owns that. Hedwig is Harry's owl.
No, doesn't Hagrid have a pet of some sort?
He has a dragon. He hatches a dragon in the first.
This is already stupid.
First movie.
So in the first book because I read the first two.
First book,
right?
yeah, he has a dragon.
I'm a big literary genius.
Of course you are, yeah.
So I should have known
book,
that it was a dragon.
He has a dragon's egg. He hatches that. Second movie, it goes back in time and he has a giant spider, giant tarantula, essentially. Third movie, he has a hippogriff.
You know what's funny is even when I was reading those books, like whenever they came out, and I remember at one point, like there was a part of the book where like the bad guy, I don't know if I'm saying this right or if it's this correct bad guy, like Sirius Black or Insidious dude or whatever Sirius it is. Black, yeah. And Harry Potter was like chasing him, or like he was being followed down like his housing district back to his house, and Harry felt like he could feel a presence behind him. Like even then I was reading, I was like, dude, this is dumb. Like, this is stupid. Why am I reading this?
Fine. I love the books. Movies are dumb. Movies are dumb, but the books are
I don't want to get into the movies. Movies are bad.
Yeah, the movies are not very. There's only one good Harry Potter movie, and that's The Prisoner of Azkaban. That's it. That's all. Other movies have some charm, but Azkaban, the third movie.
I would love to do like a fanboy commentary on the Harry Potter movies, because I've only seen one. I've seen the first one, and then I got 20 minutes in the second. I said, nope. I'm done. And that is so
childish. The first two movies are so childish.
Well, you're literally watching children, right? They're like fucking 13 years old.
And bad actors.
Horrible.
Yeah. But anyway, we're not talking about Harry Potter.
Yeah, that's okay.
I'd get more into that.
That's something.
So Moth. Here we go. Moth. Let's.
What are more B's? Ready to all three of my B's? I know more B's.
So my 2B, my second B is not really the last song on the record.
Dude, it's just a all acoustic fucking song. Icy Sound. Like it's just the same fucking song.
Dude, I love this song. I love that it's just Brad and the acoustic guitar. I think it goes so fucking well, and the way that Brad he swells up, he builds vocally into a higher register as you go into the song,
just
into
like
that
Icy
chorus.
Sound.
I don't care. But Icy Sound
is literally just like an acoustic version of Icy Sound.
But Icy Sound is obviously more complex because there's more instruments here and there. But I do love Not Really. I think it's a absolute great closer. And if you think of it that way, where it's just another Icy Sound, that's a great closer. You start with the craziness that is Icy Sound, and you end with just an acoustic fucking song and Not Really.
That would be cool if they did that, but they didn't do that. They tried to pass it off as this new song, and it's the exact same fucking thing.
You're fucking. I can't believe you didn't like hearing things, because you're a sucker for acoustic song. Oh, I'm sorry, Not Really. Sorry, Not Really.
Yeah, Not Really.
Yeah, Not Really.
Not hearing things.
But I'm surprised you didn't like this more, because it's a fucking.
But it opens up the same way. The ding 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 ding, whatever that fucking riff is. It's same.
Oh, it's so good though.
It's the same fucking riff.
It is.
He just adds a little bit of hammers.
I know. The hammers are good though. The hammers
are cool.
You got to love a good hammer.
But don't pass it off as a new song. If it's just a fucking reworking of a song, and you're trying to cheese ball your way out of it.
What I also love about the song too is that you hear the second acoustic guitar come in, and he's not completely in time with the other acoustic guitar. So there's like this like little offset thing to it, and it just sounds. It's just like it's this perfect imperfection, which is sounds so dumb when I say it out loud, but that's what it is. Love it, love
It's
it.
good. Like this is a good. It's a good closer. It's a great closer. It's a perfect closer for this record. But like, no way there's a fucking B.
This is my 2B.
Maybe
It's through my 2B.
That's crazy. That's crazy. You put this above Icy Sound because this is Icy Sound. It's just Icy Sound is better.
Icy Sound's my 4B, so that's fine.
That's stupid that you put this above Icy Sound. So
once again, I love that. I love that build. That build in that chorus is so good. Really, the whole song. And lyrically,
just like an Icy Sound.
Lyrically, it's about addictions, losing everyone around you, and then just waking up one day and realizing how bad you really fucked up, and then where did all the time go? Like, I think this is like one of the deepest songs on the whole record lyrically. Man, dude, I'd love Not Really. I think it's just a beautiful song. It's just a beautiful song. I think it's like there's like kind of like the bridge thing too, where it becomes like this big open thing, and it's like kind of ethereal, but it's so good. It's amazing.
Just like the whole like the
I don't care. What I don't care if you're talking shit on it. I fucking love it. I don't care.
I'm talking shit on it. I think it's silly that you put Icy Sound as a 4B and you put this as a 2B, even though this is a fucking replica of Icy Sound.
It doesn't matter. It's a better version of that song.
No, it's not though, because there's
Well,
no
it
Josh
is.
Freese on it. Got him.
All right, so my 3. So let's talk about my 3B, and then we could wrap up the whole thing. Hearing Things is my 3B on here. Love the drums. You know, Josh with the scat, and they just like really awesome fucking fills going into the different parts. It's incredible. Awesome pop punk fills throughout here. And I love me a pop punk fill. You know I fucking love the pop punk fill. In the middle from Jimmy World, love that shit. Love that stuff. And Josh does it perfect on this song. The synth on here that accents the vocal melody, fucking great. And the back and forth harms in the chorus, love it. I love this song so much. I love it. So,
Yeah,
I don't care.
Normally, since I have nothing but negative things to say, but there are times when it calls for it, right? And this reminded me so much of just like the Rentals, but like
Which is fine.
more melodic at points. And I love the Rentals. I don't know why you're getting mad at me right
You're
now.
trying to be a negative Nancy about it.
No, I said normally I don't like synth and music like at all. But like everybody knows I like the Rentals. When I say, but like this sounds like the Rentals, like obviously I like this. This is the closest thing to a B, but that's only because like the chorus. Everything else I think is not quite B worthy, but the chorus is really, really good. And the you're near, like I like that. That's good. I like the Rentals.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, those are my top 4 bangers, top 4 Bs.
Well,
only
cocaine, you like cocaine?
Cocaine
where's
Star is
Cocaine
my
sit?
5B. My 5B.
Because this is like
do
their
like
bootleg
Cocaine.
fucking Nirvana song.
It is. Okay. I get it. It's fine, though. It's okay. Big, heavy
Cocaine!
guitars. It is very in utero. It is very in utero. It has a lot of the loud, quiet dynamics, too. But damn, dude, when it drops into the like pop rock, pop punk thing, it's so fucking good.
Okay.
Cocaine Star is fucking great.
Cocaine's,
It's an
cocaine's
underrated
fine.
song.
Okay. 100, yeah.
Great song. Way. Great fucking album. So, and one last thing I will say about this. A lot of bands experienced this in the 90s, especially the 90s, probably before the 90s, but a lot in the 90s and early 2000s where a label like a big label like Virgin would sign like 100 artists, have them all record records, and then they would just sit on a shelf either forever or for a very, very long time. And this is one of the records where they recorded this, it sat on the shelf for about a year, and then it was finally released. And then all the shit happened with Mariah Carey, and everything got completely fucked
Cool.
up.
And like
by
they
the label.
literally closed like offices in, I think it was Nashville.
Yeah,
They
it was
closed
Nashville.
offices. And so like they're dropping bands. That's what's happened. We're dropping bands.
Yeah, it's a shame. Such a shame. But what are you gonna do? What are you
What
gonna
are
do?
you
So
gonna
let's give our final thoughts on this record, on Moth in general. Let's rate the record based off of our 3 point
4
rating
point.
system.
Dang,
3 point rating
crazy.
system where 3 is a perfect album, 2 is a good album you're going to continue to listen to. 1 is a bad album, but you should give it a shot. And 0 is the worst thing you've ever heard. What do you got? Go.
Oh man, this is gonna be a tough one. So off the bat, that's not a 0. That's not a 3.
Oh,
Let's get
okay,
those,
duh.
let's get those out of the way. That's easy. Now we can whittle it down a little bit more in the middle. I'm holding a pen now because it makes me look like I'm smarter. Like I'm writing things down, taking notes, even though
You
it's
don't
a
write
Sharpie.
anything down.
That's true. I don't really write anything down. It's stupid. Why would I? I don't read and I don't write. Because those are stupid.
It's honestly really not far from the truth. All right.
Yeah. So I think this band's biggest problem is just it came out at the wrong time. But even if it did come out in like the mid '90s or whatever, and we were doing this album, this band blew up and became huge. Like my opinions on this would not change. Like they're doing a lot of sounds here. I don't think they're doing any of them particularly extraordinary. And I'm not trying to get into like the skip territory where like, no, fucking nothing's a 3 because if you didn't change the game of music and if you're not S tier, then like I don't fucking care, dude. I like listening to music because I enjoy it, not because I'm trying to like make people think that I'm better than everybody else. Like I enjoy bad music sometimes, and that's fine. I have a good time doing it. And I enjoyed my listen through with this one.
I like the subtle knocks it. Skip there.
Good, because he needs it after this. He's been so fussy this week.
He's been a
so
fussy boy.
FSB.
Friend of the pod, Skip, has been so fucking fussy.
Dude, FSB with capital letters.
Fussy Skip boy, yeah.
Yes, fussy boy Skip, FSB. This is not a 2 because I don't think I'll ever go back to this record.
Okay.
But I did enjoy my time with it, so it's definitely not a 1 because I will go back to some of these songs. And like sometimes I just randomly listen to like records we've done in the pod just because. Like, fuck it. I haven't listened to this in a while. But, dude, there are some stinkers on here. Like, those middle songs we talked about. I don't remember the fuck the name of the songs were. Leftovers and Lovers' Quarrels.
Yeah.
Those are bad songs.
I think you have to go back and listen to them, but that's okay.
It's just, like, this band didn't blow up, and they shouldn't have blown up. Like, this record doesn't show me that this band should have blew up. There's not one of those things like, fuck, man, I can't believe this band didn't get enough love. Like, I get why they didn't get enough love. It's fine. And having Josh Freese play drums on your record, like that's cool and all, but like, okay, like so what? Like he's fine. He's fine on this record. What he does on this record is fine. It's no different on this record than what he did in the format. It's fine. This record is fine.
Better than what he did on the format. It's true.
There's only the only song that I think he plays drums better than the entirety of the format is Icy Sound. That's it.
Okay.
But everything else that he did on this record, like, okay, just replace him with any other competent drummer of this era, and they would fit in just fine. This is 1.25. 1.25.
Okay. You're just getting crazy. You're just being spiteful. But that's
there's
okay.
nothing extraordinary about this band. There's no call for this band. There's no like underground cult following for this band. There's nothing about this band that like, aside from us doing the podcast, they would just cease to exist.
So
but
I think
it was a fun listen.
Okay. All right. Well, 1.25 is fucking stupid. It's just fucking. I'll say it's fucking retarded.
I think that's a fair rating.
It's not
the fairest of all.
I think you're so concerned with like, just like. I think you're honestly pulling a Skip this episode in that you just cannot have fun. Like you think, well, it didn't come out in this time. It wasn't this. It wasn't that. It's like, who gives a fuck if it's not Modest Mouse? If it didn't come out in 1997, it's still fucking great. Like, who gives a shit? Like this is.
I don't see great.
Put your Bayside goggles on. Put your Bayside goggles on. Have some fucking fun for once. I know you don't have fun. Like. You're getting to the point now in life where you're trying to be like Skip, which you know.
No, I know.
You know.
I know. I know.
It's also very disrespectful that I couldn't even think of a word to describe.
I think
Skip
it's
at
even
that
more.
moment.
I think it's even more disrespectful. You said that, and I said, "Oh, I know."
That's so mean. But we're not even. We have no idea what we're even saying.
Yeah, there's no. We actually don't have anything, but just saying that makes it sound like we do have something, but we don't want to say it, but really don't. But it just sounds even more
It's so
disrespectful.
dumb. All right,
I know.
so with this album, yeah, it's not breaking boundaries. It's not revolutionary.
There's no fucking way you'll give this a 3 out of 3. There's no way.
It's not revolutionary. It's not.
There's no way.
It's really. It's they're just like a really really great B tier fucking band. Like you're
Okay. B tiers don't get 3s out of 3s. So that's good.
just a great fucking B tier band. The songs are incredibly catchy. There's some incredible moments. There's great sections to these parts. I think you're not giving enough credit to Josh Freese. I think his drumming is
He
better
doesn't
than
do anything.
I think his drumming is better on this record than almost all of his session drumming. I'm not talking about the Vandals and all the other stuff he's done. I'm talking about his session stuff. I think this is one of the better session records he's done. And also, reading more about this record, the little bit I could find about this record, they actually did a lot more pre-production as a band as a whole. Like they're a lot more in the room. It wasn't just Josh Freese coming in and saying, here's the structure of the song, play the drums. They were actually like playing the songs in a room together, all four of them, Tommy, Josh, Brad, and Bob. All four of them. And
Josh is in a punk band. That's how punk bands record
once again,
their shit. So
this isn't a normal like. But this isn't like a normal session thing. He was also referred by Tommy since Tommy saw something in this band that he really liked. Josh respects Tommy a lot, obviously. So Josh came in and did a lot more for this record than he could have done, which he's did for a lot of session work, which we'll get into next week because we're doing another Josh Freese album next week, a session album. So that'll be fun. But anyway, with that being said, I think Brad Stens, the singer songwriter of this band, I think he's underrated. I will say it. I think he's underrated. I don't think he's the greatest singer. I think he's a little bit whiny, but I still love it. We love our Tom DeLonge. We love whiny vocals, especially you. You love your stupid bad pop punk, like Bayside. So, with that being said,
story so far you hated so much.
Yeah, don't that stupid band.
Real friends you hate so much.
Moth is better. Moth is better than this Moth record is better than everything Bayside's ever done. I don't make the rules. So with that being said, I do love this record, and I will give this record a 2.5.
2.75. Oh wow, 2.5.
You know, fuck it, I'll give it 2.75 because you're being a little
You said
shit about it.
2.5. So I gave it 1.25. You paid 2.5.
No, you're being a little
average
shit
out to
right
about
now.
like a 2.
No, you're being a little shit.
2.8 or 1.8.
You're being a little shit.
Yeah.
2.75. 2.75.
So 2.5 added with a 1.25. That adds it out to about like a 1.8. So this record is like a 1.8.
It's a 2.75 for me.
Maybe
2.75 out of 3 for me. I
Actually,
love this album.
Do the calculations.
I think it's great.
3.25 plus 1 point.
Anyway, so
give it 2 point.
you give it a 2.75.
So this record actually gets an aggregate score of 1.75.
Which it's not. It's way higher than that, but that's okay.
I think that's
because
right.
I give it.
I do think that's way too high.
I mean, way too low. I'm sorry. I meant way too low. But yeah, I give this record a 2.75 out of 3. I think it's fucking great.
But now you're a liar. So.
And I changed my. I can change my mind. Fuck it. I don't care. 2.75 for me.
First time for everything.
So anyway, great record. I love it. Go check it out. Skip, you're gonna hate it. You're gonna fucking hate it.
I don't know, dude. He's a wild card. We usually think he hates things, but he
Skip
likes.
Is not. No. Skip is not a wild card.
Shit.
He's not a wild card. He's gonna hate this. If it's not Britlin, if it's not from Britlin, if it doesn't break barriers, he's gonna hate it.
He's like mud. Like I know the exact consistency of mud. I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like when I step on it. I know what it feels like if it's on my shoes. He's like mud. I know exactly what mud is.
Exactly. So thank you all for listening. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars. If you're watching on YouTube, smash that subscribe button. And that's it.
My name is Mud.
That's all.
Dorfman.